ideally. I mean, the reason why you have a stable democracy in the Western world, you have primarily two major parties. There are other parties, but two major parties. So it's either or. We have a splintered opposition with a common goal, right? It doesn't work that way. So I want to be the voice of reason, because eventually I think we all have to come together to decide where this country would go. And the egos at play, right? We need someone who can help or speak to them or speak to these egos, because we're in a bad place.
I'm going to come back to that in a moment. The very important issue that you raised there of unity amongst the opposition. But you have spoken just a minute ago and at other sort of forums about Nigeria's enormous potential. Looking at the country today, and you touched on that earlier, what do you think is fundamentally broken? Is it the economy? Is it governance? Is it leadership? Or is it something deeper than that?
A combination of all. The economy is broken, it's not growing, and I'll give you instances. Let me start from there. And I've used this, I've replayed this analogy over and over again. 46 years ago, our population was 75, 76 million. Federal national budget was 25 billion. This was the Shagari years. Our population today is in excess of 230 million. Our national budget is still hovering around the 20s. Now, the value of the dollar at that time is different. So you could see the stark consequences of that. Whether you call it Boko Haram, you call it ISWAP, you call it banditry, kidnapping, those are the fallouts. Those are the symptoms of inadequacy. We have not grown the economy. That's one. Governance is poor. I mean, in the last close to 20 years, there's been very little governance going on. More of politics than governance. You know, the recent scandal where someone sets up an office and a federal secretariat, but is not an institution of government, shows that there's poor governance in the system. I mean, nothing speaks louder than that. So you have poor governance. You have poor governance as a derivative of leadership. And of course, you have an economy that is just not growing. I mean, how can you grow an economy at interest rates in the upper 30s? So you borrow 100 million, and before you start anything, you're paying 30-something million as interest. You can't grow the economy. So there's so many things wrong, and that's why I said it's a totality of everything. You need someone broad to understand this, right? And the focal point of governance is to ensure that the citizens are optimally productive within a safe and orderly environment. Our citizens are not productive. The environment is not safe. There's no order. So it's chaos. This, if it's not stemmed now, the urgency of now, I wouldn't want to be around in the next 20, 30 years. I mean, we all pray for long life, and of course we add prosperity to it. Long life, endangered long life is not what I pray for anyone, not just myself.
Indeed. And you were, of course, as I mentioned, governor of Cross River State for 8 years. But I mean, governing one state and governing Nigeria are two entirely different propositions. I mean, just go ask Bola Tinubu and ask him the challenges he's facing. Why should Nigerians believe that your record as governor of Cross River State can be replicated on a national scale?
Two things. The first thing is your record shows that your intention, it speaks of your intention to leave a place better than you met it. That's my record, not the TINAPAs and all those things, but the intention is my record. The second thing is, when you're governing a country like Nigeria, multi-ethnic, multi-religious, it's a conundrum. You must look for the best hands. The politics is over. Now go to the governance. So each appointee of government is has one credo: make sure you leave this place better than you met it. It's not those who rally around you, the politics. There's enough to go around everyone. But make sure that you don't shortchange the country in the process of governance, as it were. We bring politics into government. No, they're two different things. Politics is a necessary step because in going through the politics, you get to better understand the country. So if I aspire for leadership as I am, I'm going to have to put together a great team, right? A team that can play, that can take us to where we are, not mediocres because they were chanting Donald Duke, for president.
Well, I mean, you built, as we mentioned, the Calabar Carnival, and you transformed. I mean, everyone could see that tourism in Cross River State. But critics say Nigerians today are not necessarily thinking about festivals; they're thinking about food. I mean, how do you convince struggling Nigerians who see your record as culture and tourism that you're able to move them and take account of their economic priorities?
It's all about productivity. Whatever you can do, whether it's singing or dancing that people are prepared to pay for, makes you productive. Once you're able to give someone, right, or some people what they're ready to pay for, entertainment, whatever it is, you're productive. So we took a plank in Cross River State. There was a low-hanging fruit, right? I mean, everyone wants to industrialize and do all those things, but that takes time, right? And we did a lot of that. I mean, we did quite a lot of that. A number of mega factories that were developed during the time. But that's not going to engage the mass of the people. Like I said to you before the program started, in the month of December alone in Calabar, 1 million visitors were coming in. Tinapa had the potential to attract 3 million people annually into Calabar. If 3 million people were spending just 100,000 naira each, that amounts to 300 billion. If you put the multiplier effect into it, it'll probably go up to 3 trillion, So whatever you can do, and that's why I said the primary purpose of government is to ensure the optimal productivity of her citizens. So you take what they can do easily and invest in that while you look for other things that they probably could do later. But, for instance, in Cross River, where at the time we only state that had internal flights. The state is rather large. It's from Calabar to Obudu, where the ranch is easily 5-6 hours. So we built an airstrip, and we had flights commuting between Calabar and I think it was being run by Aero Contractors and Overland.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that created traffic. Look, you and I know that Dubai survives on traffic. If you stop the traffic from going into Dubai, that's it. The same thing, I mean, Las Vegas, the story of Las Vegas was built around traffic. London is built on traffic. Major cities are built on traffic, So we created that traffic. We were the fourth, Calabar Airport was the fourth busiest airport in Nigeria after Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt was Calabar. Unfortunately, it's down to 2. We had 9 flights in and out of Calabar daily. Those numbers, people coming in and going in and the flights were full, those numbers speak volumes.
But I mean, what part of the challenge I imagine you had in Cross River State was the absence of an enabling environment to promote what you wanted to do there on a national level.
This man, this former Cross River, former governor of Cross River, this Duke, this man is so intelligent. No. We still get like this kind of people in this country, and this country they turn upside down. According to he said the reason why they turn to policy because of the urgency of where we are today, because of the state we have today. You understand? That's why he turn to politics. Well, I believe now I listen to all what he saw, so we can use to share your thought. Now this kind of videos we share so that more people can see it. Also react to it. At least not all boy.